breaking news on WFLA Now.
Hey everybody, JB Buno here with you live on WFLA's Facebook page here on WFLA Now. We are following breaking news here out of Hillsborough County. You see there that the podium is set up for a press conference that is about to get underway any moment from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Chad Chronister is about to announce that a mother has been arrested in the death of her young son. The circumstances surrounding the boy's death unclear at this time. Not many details have been announced by the Sheriff's Office ahead of this press conference. We're expected to get many more details, including the identity of the mother and the circumstances surrounding the son's death, also the age of the son and when this took place. There is a lot of circumstances that we are hoping to learn in this 10 a.m. press conference live here from Hillsborough County that, as you see, reporters, members of the media have gathered here at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office as they await Sheriff Chad Chronister, who is going to be speaking momentarily. So if you're joining us here live on WFLA's Facebook page, or if you're joining us live on WFLA's app, hello there to you. Happy Thursday morning. JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now, again, following breaking news. Not too many details released ahead of this press conference. I will read exactly, pretty much exactly what the Sheriff's Office sent to us. They basically said that a mother was arrested in connection with the death of her young son and that a press conference would be held at Thursday, 10 a.m. to share more details. A lot of questions, of course. How did this happen? What charges is the mother going to face? So for those of you just joining us, everybody, we're standing by as we await Sheriff Chad Chronister here live from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. The press conference was set to begin at 10 a.m., and it is now 10:02. Again, the Sheriff's Office might be just waiting for members of the media to kind of file in here, make sure that everybody is rolling with their cameras. Of course, we're ready to go here on WFLA Now as we bring you this breaking news, everybody. To everybody joining us, in the meantime, I can say hello to Deborah Giaquinto, Kathleen Bialis, Bella Luna, Maulauna Randall, Ricky Huggins, Terry Justice, Andy Cruz Cordon, and Steve Chenko. Many others joining us here live on the WFLA Facebook page. As again, we're following really just a terrible news story. We've had several stories, it feels like lately, of families, family members dying and learning that family members of the victim were responsible for that. We had just the story just the other day, I believe it was in Brandon, of the story of a grandmother who admitted to killing her grandson through fatal overdose because she didn't feel like she could care for him any longer and that there was nobody to care for him. So again, that is of course a separate story, but still disturbing nonetheless. And here we have yet another alarming story, this one in Hillsborough County. Everybody, this is a live picture here from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. The moment that we see Sheriff Chad Chronister take to the podium, I will be quiet. We will go out there to the press conference so that we can learn more about this story. Again, we're here live on WFLA's Facebook page. Everybody joining us: Paula Chappelle, Kristen Wameling, Vivian Marlins, Virginia Sotomayor, Donna Davin. Let's see here. Susan Broad, Vicky Rhodes, Donna Anderson, Suzanne Linkle. Hello to everybody. A lot of you saying good morning, JB. Good morning to everybody out there following us live here on WFLA Now. Again, press conference a little bit late this morning, but press conferences usually don't get started right at their scheduled start time. They're usually a few minutes behind just to let any members of the media who might have been stuck in traffic or people that are just filing in or making sure that they're doing their appropriate mic checks, sound checks, video checks, stream checks to make sure that they get going here. But again, following breaking news that we do not know many details about right now. This is an announcement from the Sheriff's Office that they encourage the media to gather here at 10 a.m. at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. If you're unfamiliar with the lay of the land here in Florida, that is, of course, Tampa. Hillsborough County, of course, is Tampa, Florida, and we're expecting to hear a lot more details about this alarming story. A mother, an unidentified mother at this time, we're expected to learn her identity really here in the next several moments. A mother charged in the death of her young son. Everybody. Mary Dees says hi from South Louisiana. Virginia Gregory says sad news. Maulana Randall says an innocent child. Talene Staten says, did they specify why? They are about to specify why. We believe that we're expected to hear more details about this. When the sheriff's office announces a press conference for a story like this, it is very commonplace for them to, of course, address details on the story. If it is an active investigation, there are going to be some questions that are off limits, but it is pretty normal for us to get a lot more circumstances surrounding exactly what happened at press conferences just like these. Otherwise, the sheriff's office wouldn't be calling a press conference. They call a press conference to address the media on the latest of what they have in their investigation and what they can report to the public. So we are moments away here from that press conference taking place on this story. Again, that is on WFLA.com. You can read about it right now. Even though we don't have too much, you can read about it right now on WFLA.com. A Hillsborough County mother arrested in connection of the death of her young son. It's a terrible story. It's hard to wrap your brains around how a mother could be responsible for the death of a young child. We don't know. Again, we don't know if this is a story where it was deliberate. We don't know if it was accidental. We're about to find out, everybody, so stick around here. I'll do my very best here as they're doing mic checks, I believe, now. There is Sheriff Chad Chronister, everybody. Let's go here live out to the sheriff's office. This is about to get underway. Let's listen in.
Thank you for being here. This morning, just a few hours ago, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office arrested our mother in connection with her young son's drowning. Tabitha Long, who you see pictured next to me, is charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child for the drowning death of her 9-year-old son, Bentley Long. On July 31st, around 2:30 in the afternoon, deputies were called to Bullfrog Creek in Gibsonton for a report of a 9-year-old who went under the water, yet never came back. The first deputy on scene arrived in less than 5 minutes, immediately jumped into the water, but was unable to locate and save Bentley. Our dive team arrived a short time later and located a young boy about 30 minutes after he went under and was never seen again. Deputies had made every attempt to revive him, yet were unsuccessful. He was transported to St. Joseph South, where he was pronounced deceased. His mother, 28-year-old Tabitha Long, was on scene along with several other individuals that day. She told deputies that her son went into the water without her permission, that he could swim, yet wasn't a strong swimmer. We know now that she wasn't being truthful. In fact, Bentley could not swim and was on her back as she entered the water. The facts in this case are appalling and only get worse. This mother, someone who should have had the utmost care and responsibility for her child, essentially had a complete disregard for his well-being. She chose to drink and get high over the safety of her child. Blood tests reveal her blood alcohol level was a 0.07 even several hours after the drowning, along with being under the influence of marijuana. This combination would certainly impair anyone's decision-making ability. Nonetheless, making the decision to put your child, who can't swim, on your back and walk out into deep water with a strong current was a deadly choice, a choice she made. This child will miss every memory that life has to offer. He will never grow up to achieve his dreams, whatever they may have been. All of this was taken from him because of a decision his mother made that day, to party over protecting her child. Although Bentley can no longer speak, we, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, will be his voice. And today, we will make sure the person responsible for his death is held accountable. At this time, I'll attempt to answer any questions anyone may have.
Sheriff, I remember when this happened, she had said to you that she tried to stop him from coming into the water. Was that all a lie?
It was all fabricated. She had her son on her back who didn't know how to swim. And I want everyone to remember, This wasn't an unfortunate accident where families go into Tampa Bay waters that can be tumultuous, and she wasn't aware of these waters. She frequents this watering hole very frequently, her and her family. She understands how quickly that water gets, how deep that water gets, and as quickly as it gets. She understands that the current can be strong. She understands that the muddy water is very hard to walk in. Yet she still chose to put her son on her back that day and walk out into deep water. Well, we all know, regardless of how strong of a person you are, even as strong of a swimmer that you are, you can't get into deep water and swim with anyone on your back. What happened is she was swimming, or she was gone over, the water got too deep, he fell off. She'd never even realized that he fell off. Her brother, who was on the other embankment with the other child, saw what happened, jumped in the water and went and tried to recover Bentley, and he was unsuccessful as well.
So this wasn't an accident, was this intentional?
I wouldn't say that this is intentional. I think this is certainly an incident where a mother who's responsible for protecting her child was too impaired to make a healthy and wise decision for her child, and this child is no longer here. This child is dead because of the choices that his mother made.
I know you were on scene that day. You were upset. Your deputy who tried to save him was upset. Hearing all of this now, looking back, how do you feel?
Still upset, still irate. As parents of a 9-year-old, as parents, we have to make the decisions to protect our children. Our children look up to us to make the right decisions. He doesn't know how to swim. Why would you have him on your back going into deep water?
Sure. Can you talk about the evidence that contradicted her story? I mean, there were other people there, including a sibling of the boy. Was it a matter of the family members, the boy kind of contradicting the mother's?
And you're exactly right. It was witness testimony that led us to the truth and revealed the facts in this case, which make a lot more sense. The deputies that were on scene that day saw that she was heavy inebriated. They saw that she was heavily intoxicated that day. We knew that something wasn't right.
And can you talk specifically about the witnesses? I mean, was it a matter of one of her children saying, "Hey, that's not what my mom said happened. That's not what happened"?
It was different witnesses. There was a maintenance worker, if I recall correctly, that was there on scene that day. There were some other witnesses, not just the children, who contradicted her statements that day.
But the children did.
I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to say that right now. I can't say that with all certainty. I just know there were several witnesses that contradicted what she said that day.
Thank you.
Detectives did a great job of drilling down and finding out exactly what happened that day.
Sheriff, to clarify, she didn't do anything to try to save her son.
Listen, I don't know what she could have done to save her son. What she could have done to save her son is not take your son, who doesn't know how to swim, into the water. So if you ask me if she did anything to save her son, I would say no. If she wanted to save her son, she would have left her son on the embankment or put a life jacket on him if she wanted to take him with her into the water. But I believe her judgment was too impaired, and this child paid with his life because of it.
Can you talk about what her response or demeanor was when she was confronted with the truth, and did she explain why she fabricated this, and what her reaction was to being arrested?
All I was made aware of this morning is that, she was upset. She was visibly upset. When she was placed under arrest, they told her what explained what her charge was this morning. She became visibly upset.
Has she ever admitted she lied?
I don't know that information at this point. Like I said, she was just placed under arrest. I don't know a few hours ago, I don't know the extent of the interview at this point.
JB Buno here with you live on stream, everybody. We're going to be breaking down the details of this press conference here the moment that it concludes. Stick around.
Yeah, unfortunately, to my dismay, it took 2 months to get the toxicology reports back to confirm what we already believed. So we had to get the toxicology reports back before we were able to, that was the final missing piece before we were able to obtain an arrest warrant and effect the arrest. Thank you, everyone.
We'll be sending out her mugshot as well.
Everybody, JB Buno here with you live on stream, as now we are getting a look at Tabitha Nicole Long. The woman charged in the death of her young son. This was not a news story. We didn't know if this was going to be a story that we had covered previously or if this was going to be a new story, but you might remember this from, I believe it was, let's see here, the date was July 31st, so the final day of July, just really less than a couple months ago, when we followed that terrible story out of Gibsonton when a 9-year-old boy was in the water, said to be missing, and by the time that his body was recovered, he was deceased. And it was later revealed that that the mother was on scene, and now we're learning that mother is the woman that you see here, Tabitha Long, accused and charged in the death of her 9-year-old son, Bentley Long. Okay, everybody, so I have some of the footage that from this story that you might remember. This might refresh your memory for those of you. This is actually going to be played here from WFLA.com, but you might remember this when Eagle 8 HD was flying over that creek in Gibsonton when they were searching for the 9-year-old boy who went missing in the water. It was said that he was not a strong swimmer. It was said that they were all hanging out by the creek, he and his family, and the family saw as he was taken in the water and he was unable to swim, and then all of a sudden he was missing in the water, and it wasn't until afterwards when he was found, where now we are learning that there was negligent, or according to the sheriff's office, that there was negligent behavior that led to the death of this 9-year-old boy, and that is why we have a charge being filed against Tabitha Long again that you see here. Oh, we just lost our signal, but there it was on your screen, everybody. Really just an awful story. Just to go over a couple more details from the press conference, they believe that after the toxicology reports came back, that Tabitha Long was drunk and that she was getting high and that she had her son on her back in water too deep and that she lost control of him. Again, 9-year-old Bentley. He fell into the water, at which time soon thereafter he drowned. Witness testimony confirmed, and deputies on the scene when they arrived, they observed that she was inebriated, and that's why the toxicology reports obviously would later come back to be positive for what we believe to be a combination of alcohol and drugs. So an extremely alarming story, everybody, that we're going to be breaking down with our 8 on Your Side staff here in our later newscasts. We have lost our signal from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Everybody, we're going to be getting going here on WFLA Now, but more coming up in our 11 a.m. newscast. We have a live report from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office with more on this story. And also, if you are at work perhaps and you can't tune into the 11 o'clock show, 4, 5, 6 o'clock newscast coming up here on WFLA News Channel 8, your NBC station, as well as more digital coverage coming your way on WFLA.com and the WFLA app. I'm JB Bune, everybody. Thanks for being with us. More to come.